Good afternoon. Welcome to our Midday Mull for Monday, the 19th of October. We continue looking at the book of Daniel, and in chapter 3 we have the well-known story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. King Nebuchadnezzar puts up a golden idol which they refuse to worship and get thrown into the fiery furnace, where God rescues them. And Nebuchadnezzar is amazed. He calls them out, and he then says, clearly, your God is the God of gods. And he sends a letter out to people, and he says the following, right at the end of the chapter: therefore, I decree that the peoples of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces, their houses be turned into a pile of rubble, for no other God can save in this way. And I wondered, what was his intention of doing this? Because if God clearly can look after himself and his followers, he can stop the fiery furnace, he can rescue people, he certainly doesn't need King Nebuchadnezzar to look after his reputation and his name. That he can do himself. So what was Nebuchadnezzar after? Maybe, I have no idea, maybe he thought, if I do this, then this God will smile on me. He doesn't make that God his God, but he does want him on his side, and maybe I can win favor in this way. And it got me to stop and think, how often when we act as Christians are we trying to defend God? He doesn't need defending. He's more than capable of defending himself. One thinks back of the story of Gideon, who burns down the Asherah pole in his village, and everybody says, oh, who did this? Bring him out and we must execute him. And Gideon's father says, well, if this God can't even look after his own sort of totem pole, why should we look after him? Why should we worship him? A real challenge. And we are called to stand up for Christ. But that needs to be a clear call before we turn it into some kind of action, political action. Rather, we must live lives that speak of him. We must live lives that show an alternative. We must behave in such a way that everyone will see that we are different and will see the God behind the difference. And so live out your faith. Live out your love for God. Let God shape how you treat people, how you deal with bad times when they come, how you look after the destitute, how you love people, how you treat your enemies. Let all of that speak of our God. We don't need to stand on a soapbox and issue declarations like Nebuchadnezzar did. That doesn't speak of a strong God. That speaks of a weak God, that we're trying to take his place. So let God work through you in all you do. Be blessed.